Children, it is a continuation of the chapter Force and Laws of Motion. We have already discussed about the second law of motion. Then what is the statement of the second law of motion? The second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. Here we have discussed about the second law of motion, that is, so it is already written that the statement of the second law of motion is the rate of change of momentum of an object is proportional to the applied unbalanced force in the direction of force. Now let us discuss about the mathematical formulation of second law of motion. So you know the momentum is equals to mass into velocity, that is P is equals to m into v. Now let us take an object with a mass m. Suppose an object of mass m is moving along a straight line with an initial velocity u, and it is uniformly accelerated to velocity v in time t. Here the object is having a mass m. Initially it was moving with a velocity u. After a time t, its velocity is increased to v. So v is the final velocity of the object with mass m, and u is the initial velocity of this same object here. Now what is its initial momentum? You know the formula to find the momentum is equals to P is equals to m into v. So let us take the initial momentum is P1. Then it is m into u, mass into initial velocity. Initial momentum is P1 equals m into initial velocity. Then what is its final momentum? Its final momentum is mv, that is P2 equals mv. Here P1 equals mu, that is the initial momentum, and its final momentum is P2 is equals to mv. Then what is change of momentum? You know that change of momentum is equals to P2 minus P1, P2 minus P1, that is what? mv minus mu, mv minus mu. So that is, if you take m common, m into v minus u, m into v minus u, that is the change in momentum. Then you can have the rate of change of momentum. So let us take it is not equals, that is proportional. So you take proportional, rate of change of momentum is what? That is mv minus mu by time. Here as it is a rate, we have to take per time. Change of momentum per time is nothing but rate of change of momentum. So we have to take it as per time t. So it is mv minus mu by t. So let us have, this is f proportional to m into v minus u. Here you remove m as a common. You remove this m as a common. Then you will get m into v minus u, that is in the bracket. Then that equals f is proportional to m into, you know that v minus u by t is nothing but a. Here a equals v minus u by t, that is rate of change of velocity a. So you take a in the place of v minus u by t, you take a. So you got f is proportional to ma. Here where m is the mass and a is the acceleration. A is the acceleration. Now, here as it is proportionality, you must take the proportionality constant to equalize it. So, it becomes F equals, you take some constant K into MA. Here you know that this proportionality will become equal when it is multiplied by some constant. So, that is the K is the proportionality constant. That is the constant of proportionality. So, you got that here F equals K into M into A is the mathematical formulation of second law of motion. Mathematical formulation of second law of motion, and the SI unit of mass is kg. Mass is kg, and the SI unit of acceleration is ms to the power of minus 2. Therefore, then what is the SI unit of force? That is kg ms to the power of minus 2. So, you take SI unit of mass is mass, m is kg, SI unit of acceleration. Acceleration is ms to the power of minus 2. ms to the power of minus 2. So, the unit of force is, you can have, that is kg ms to the power of minus 2. The unit of force is, so chosen that the value of the constant k becomes 1. So, here you will get k equals 1. For this, 1 unit of force is defined as the amount of that produces an acceleration of 1 ms to the power of minus 2 in an object of 1 kg mass. So, here, so the unit of force is so chosen that the value of the constant k becomes 1. For this, 1 unit of force is defined as the, that is 1 unit of force. 1 unit of force is defined as the amount that produces an acceleration of 1 ms to the power of minus 2 in an object of 1 kg mass. That equals, know that k into 1 kg, k into 1 kg into 1 ms to the power of minus 2. So, here you know that what is 1 unit of force? 1 unit of force is defined as the amount that produces an acceleration of an acceleration of 1 ms to the power of minus 2 in an object of how much mass? 1 kg mass. 1 kg mass. So, here we have taken 1 unit of force equals k into 1 kg into 1 ms to the power of minus 2. Thus, the value of k becomes 1. Here, the value of k becomes 1. Value of k becomes 1, and f equals what? So, here, therefore, k equals 1, and you will get f equals m into a. F equals m into A. The force is equals to, you can take force acting on object is product of its mass and acceleration. Force acting on a object is a product of what and what? Mass and acceleration. Mass and acceleration. So you can write that F is equals to m into A. F is equals to m into A. Now let us take some situations in our day-to-day life which is according to the second law of motion. So second law of motion in our day-to-day life, in our everyday life. You have noticed that in a high jump athlete event, the athletes are made to fall either on a cushion bed or on a sand bed. What is the reason here? This is to increase the time of the athletes to stop. To increase the time of the athletes to stop. So by stopping, you can decrease the rate of change of momentum and hence the force also. So this decreases the rate of change of momentum and hence the force. So this is one of the situation according to the second law of motion. Here you know that the momentum and force depends upon the velocity. So here as the time increases, the velocity goes on decreases and finally becomes 0. If he suddenly stops, you know that there will be more momentum and there is a chance of getting wound or hurt for the and also you have noticed that while catching a fast moving cricket ball, a fielder in the ground gradually pulls his hand backwards with the moving ball. While catching a fast moving cricket ball, a fielder in the ground gradually pulls his hands backward together with the moving ball. What is the reason here? In doing so, the fielder increases the time during which the high velocity of the moving ball decreases to 0. In this way, the acceleration of the ball is decreased and the effect of catching the fast moving ball decreased. Here, while catching a fast moving cricket ball, fielder in the ground gradually pulls his hands backwards. The reason is the fielder increases the time during which the high velocity of the moving ball decreases to 0. And slowly its velocity decreases to 0 and the acceleration of the ball is decreased and the impact of catching the fast moving ball also decreased. So that is also one of the situation according to the Newton's second law of motion. So let us see the third situation. If the fast moving ball is stopped suddenly, what happens? If the fast moving ball is suddenly stopped, its high velocity decreases to 0 suddenly. So its high velocity decreases to 0 in a very short interval of time. Thus the rate of change of momentum of the ball will be large. Therefore, a large force would have to be applied for holding the catch that may hurt the palm of the catcher. Children, now let us discuss about the third law of motion. Third law of motion. The first two laws of motion tells us how an applied force changes the motion and provide us with a method of determining the force. And the third law of motion states that when one object exerts a force on another object, the second object also exert a force back on the first. Consider here, you know that a object exert a force on, consider here is an object which exert a force on the other object. The same time the other object also exert a force on it. So if you consider A and B are the objects, if A exerts force on B, at the same time B also exerts force on A. So when one object exerts a force on another object, the second object also exerts a force back on the first. These two forces are always equal but in opposite direction. See the direction here. A exerts a force on the object B in this direction and B exerts a force on A in this direction. And they are equal in magnitude but they are in opposite in direction. These forces act on different objects, not on the same objects. Here the force are exerted on A and B, not on only A, not on only B. Here A exert a force on B and B exert a force on A. These two forces are on different objects and never on the same object. In the game of football, sometimes while looking at the football and trying to kick it with a greater force, collide with a player of the opposite team, both feel hurt because each applies a force to the other and there is a pair of forces and not just one force. You know that? If A exert a force on B and B exert a force on A, so you can say that one is the action and other is the reaction. The two opposing forces are also known as action and reaction forces. What they are? Action and reaction forces. Action and reaction forces. Here, if one object exerts a force on the other and the other object exerts a force on the first one, then the force exerted by the first one is called the action and the force exerted by the second one is called the reaction. So, action force and reaction force. Let us do one activity. Consider two spring balances connected together as shown in the figure. Here A and B are the two spring balances. They are connected together. The fixed end of balances B is attached to the rigid support like a wall. See here, fixed end of the spring balance B is attached to the rigid support. When a force is applied through the free end of spring balance A, here the force is applied. It is a free end of the spring balance A and force is applied through this free end. It is observed that both the spring balances show the same reading on their scales. Here you observe the reading. Both the spring balances shows the same readings. It means that the force exerted by spring balance A on balance B is equal but opposite in direction to the force exerted by the balance B on the balance C. Here A exert force on B. A exert force on B and B exert force on A. Here you know that the equal and opposite forces are exerted by A and B. A exert force on B and B exert force on A. They are equal and in opposite direction. As you observe that both the spring balances shows the same reading. What does it mean? The spring balances exert equal forces on one another. The force which balance A exert on balance B is called the action. Here, the force exerted by A on B is called action. This is action. And the force of balance B on balance A. Here, force exerted by the balance B on the balance A is called the reaction. This is the reaction. This gives us an alternative statement of the third law of motion. That is, every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. For every action there is equal and opposite reaction. It must be remembered that the action and reactions always act on two different objects. Here action and reactions are not on the same object, they act on different objects. Let us consider one more example, one more situation here. Suppose you are standing at rest, on the road and intend to start walking on a road. You must accelerate, and this requires a force in accordance with the second law of motion. In accordance with the second law of motion, you must accelerate. And what is the force here? Which is the force? It is the muscular effort you exert on the road. Here, to start walk on the road, you must exert a force on the road. And it is in the direction we intend to move. You push the road below backward, and the road exerts an equal and opposite reaction force on your feet to make you move forward. Here, the force exerted by you is the action force, and the force exerted by the road is the reaction force. When you push the road below backwards, the road exerts an equal and opposite reaction force on your feet to make you move forward. So here action force is exerted by you and the reaction force is exerted by the road on your foot. It is important to note that even though the action and reaction forces are always equal in magnitude, these forces may not produce acceleration of equal magnitudes. This is because each force acts on a different object that may have different mass, because you know that all the objects are not having same masses. So if you consider a mass with more object and mass with lesser object, and here if consider this is the mass of the object A, and it is object A with the mass m1, and it is the mass object B with the mass m2, and if object A exert force on B and object B exert force on A, so one is the action and other one is the reaction. Force exerted by the A is action and force exerted by the B is reaction. That is, force exerted by A on B is the action, force exerted by the B on A is the action. Even though they are equal in magnitude, but because of their mass difference, the acceleration will be different because they may have a different mass, so they are having different acceleration. Let us consider one more situation. When a gun is fired, it exerts a forward force on the bullet. You know that when a gun is fired, gun exerts a forward force on the bullet. The bullet exerts an equal and opposite reaction force on the gun. Bullet exerts an equal and opposite reaction force on the gun. This results in the recoiling of the gun. Here, you know that gun exert a force on the bullet in this direction, and there is a reaction force to recoil the gun, means the bullet exert a force on the gun to recoil it. Since the gun has a much greater mass than the bullet, the acceleration of the gun is much less than the acceleration of the bullet. The mass of the bullet is less than the mass of the gun, therefore the acceleration of the gun is much less than the acceleration of the bullet. Consider one more situation. When a sailor jumps out of a rowing boat. When a sailor jumps out of a rowing boat, it is also one of the illustration of the third law of motion. The sailor jumps forward and the force on the boat moves it backward. Here, as the sailor moves forward, the boat moves backward. Here also the Newton's third law of motion is illustrated. So, students, do one activity here. Request two children to stand on two separate carts as shown in the figure. Give them a bag full of sand or some other heavy object. Ask them to play a game of catch with the bag. Ask them to play a game of catch with the bag, and observe that each of them receive an instantaneous reaction as a result of throwing the sandbag. You can paint a white line on cart wheel to observe the motion of the two carts. Then the children throw the bag towards each other. So what you have to do? Paint a white line on cart wheels. Here, paint a white line on the cart wheels to observe the motion of the two carts when the children throw the bag towards each other. Now place two children on one cart and one on another cart. Here, take one more children, call one more children to stand on the one cart, and on one cart there are two children and the other cart only one child is there. The second law of motion can be seen as this arrangement would show different acceleration for the same force. Children, write the statement of third law of motion. What is the statement? To every action there is equal and opposite reaction, and they act on two different bodies. So what is the statement of third law of motion? To every action there is equal and opposite reaction, and they act on two different bodies. And some daily examples of Newton's third law. First one is recoiling of a gun on firing the bullet. On firing the bullet, you know that bullet moves forward and gun recoils backward. That is according to Newton's third law. And flying of jet planes. Observe the flying of jet planes. The exhaust gases moves backward and jet planes moves forward. That is also according to Newton's third law of motion. Next, rebounding of a ball after striking in the floor. That is also according to Newton's third law of motion. Motion of a boat. You know that in the motion of boat, water is pushed backward and the boat moves forward. That is according to Newton's third law. Then also movement of rocket. In the movement of rocket, exhaust gases moves towards the earth and rocket moves in the direction opposite to the direction of the movement of the exhaust gases. That is according to Newton's third law of motion. So there are many situations and examples in our daily life which is based on the Newton's third law of motion.